How are we doing, boys? Welcome back to another Shroomy TA video on the crypto market. As right now it looks like we are in a bear market, and it looks like we will be heading lower, further into the 4-year cycle lows expected later this year, roughly around October time, 1 year on from the all-time high back in October at 126k. And if we're following the fractal and the downtrend like we've seen from the 2021 highs to the 2022 lows and the 2017 highs to 2018 lows, we could see something like this playing out before the breakout of that downtrend, for the breakout of that downtrend and the breakout of this downtrend that we are currently in. But right now, we're at this massive area that we can see, this pink line, the 200-week EMA, which, like we've seen in the 2018 lows, we got below and spent considerable amount of period under the 200 EMA in here. We then get a little bit in here because of the COVID crash. We then, again, last cycle, back in May 2022, we got under the 200-week EMA for a considerable period in here. And right now, the current weekly close is at 67.6k, and right now Bitcoin is currently sitting at 68.3k. So we're just above it, or are we just above? Sorry, we're just below it as we speak, and we close in 2 hours and 5 minutes time now. So again, like we've seen in the 2022 lows and the 2018 lows, and we've seen all the way back in the 4-year cycle before that, we've seen in all these times below the 200-week EMA were good times to DCN slowly, where Bitcoin's finding its bottom of the 4-year time frames. So as we've seen here, 2015, 2018, 19, 2022, 2023. So every 4 years when Bitcoin makes its 4-year cycle lows, which I'm expecting between now and the end of the year, below the 200-week EMA, which we're currently sitting on. Will we get a weekly close below? If we get a weekly close below, I reckon that'll be us staying below, like we have seen in these previous times, which back in 2014, we were down below the 200-week EMA for 287 days. Back in 2018, we were below it for roughly 140 days, and then in 2022 to 2023, we were below it for about 280 days. So if we were to break down in here, so let's say between 140 to 290 days, roughly, if that was us breaking down right now, that could take us 140 days roughly. That would be July of this year. So July of this year, or if we were to do the 280 days, which is double that time frame, obviously, that would take us from now to November, which ties up with the 4-year cycle, the October 2026 lows. So yeah, I'm going to make this chart clear. Right now it's a mess, but as you can see, the 4-year cycle, I believe, is intact, and my previous bull thesis that they were going to get a super cycle and the 5-year business cycle, there was no alt season because of QE, etc., got discarded. And right now my main focus on Bitcoin finding its 4-year lows, and then I'm going to be looking to get back into positions in altcoins, because the last cycle we've seen, the business cycle was in contraction below 50. There was no QE. We were in a quantitative tightening era where there was no money printing. But the next cycle coming up, when Bitcoin finds its 4-year low and Bitcoin starts going up, like we've seen the previous 3 times for the 4-year cycle low in Bitcoin, I think altcoins will do better the upcoming cycle, because we're going to have QE coming at the very minimum, more money printing, and that's obviously what causes fiat money to lose its value, and risk on asset, well, not even risk on assets, just assets in general, like gold, silver, etc., to keep driving up. And as Ray Dalio made a massive thread on Twitter, I don't know if you've seen it, about, I'll bring it up in another video, but he was saying how even the banks are flocking to gold, and the future is going to look so different in terms of fiat money. As the more money they print, the more the fiat value goes down. And yeah, that's one of the main reasons I'm in crypto, is because I have no faith in the fiat money, which they just can print endlessly, and that is why we lose value in the fiat money. And that's why assets, gold, silver, stocks, ETFs, Bitcoin, stuff like that, that's why I'm obsessed with the market. And yeah, just share my thoughts on this channel. If you watch my videos regularly, you'll know since I started flipping bearish, this is my main chart that I use at the minute, which is just the 4-year cycle highs, 2013, 2017, 2021, the double top, and 2025. Every 4 years, Bitcoin makes a high, and then every 4 years, 2015, 2019, 2022, 2023, and then I'm assuming late 2026, we'll get these 4-year lows on Bitcoin, the 4-year crypto, well, the 4-year Bitcoin cycle. And then if Bitcoin's going down, the rest of the markets, the altcoins, are going to get destroyed. If Bitcoin goes down 50%, like we have currently seen from the top in October, we're down about 50%, altcoins get destroyed even more. And again, you'll see on the chart all these fib retracement levels. We've seen from the lows to the highs from the 2013 cycle, Bitcoin got below the 0.786 fib in this area, below the 0.786 fib, which we can see again from, where is it? From the lows to the highs, the 0.786 fib. Again, from these bear market lows in 2015 to the 4-year cycle highs in 2017 to the next, from the highs to lows, again, the 0.786 fib in this accumulation area, again, 0.786 fib in this accumulation area. Again, from the 2019 lows to the 2021 double top, basically, again, below the 0.786 fib accumulation in here. And then this time round, this cycle, from the lows to the highs of the 4-year cycle, are we going to get below the 0.786 fib and accumulating here again, which is about 40,000. And from Bitcoin right now at 67k, if that was to then come down into this area, it's another 50% move there on Bitcoin. And as I previously mentioned, I don't want to take that risk on altcoins. If Bitcoin goes down 50% yet again, on top of the 50% move we've already made down from the October highs, altcoins are going to go even lower. I believe if we get this 4-year cycle low, 4-year cycle low, 4-year cycle low, and another 4-year cycle low later in this year, I'm going to be going heavy in altcoins, because when Bitcoin broke this 4-year cycle low and went up, we had QE this time round and money printing, whereas in altcoins done well, we got an alt season. And in here, when we got the lows in 2022, 2023 and went up to 2025 highs, we didn't have QE, and hence the reason altcoins didn't do as well. And I can get that up on the screen. Yeah, so here we have it. Essentially in blue is when the balance sheet started expanding. So you can see here, started printing money. Around here they stop, and then it starts declining. And here, the August, September 2019, they start printing loads of money. And as you can see, when this, from 2019, this loads of money printing, this ties in with this cycle from 2019 to the 2021 highs when altcoins done well. Whereas this time round, we can see the Fed's balance sheet has decreased the whole time, and only back in December did they end QT. So this whole cycle we've just been in has been QT, quantitative tightening, no printing money, whereas the cycle before we've seen this massive expansion of the balance sheet, loads of money printing, and hence altcoins done really well, whereas this time round only Bitcoin's done well. So yes, we did have the peak in April 2024 and Q4 of 2024 and that run up into Trump coming to office, but obviously we never had that massive run. But this next cycle coming up, once Bitcoin gets this low, I'm expecting, like we've seen with the QE last 2 cycles ago, not this cycle, 2 cycles ago we had QE, then with QT. I'm expecting QE again this upcoming cycle, as we see last December 2025, QT ended. So the next cycle is going to have money printing in it, whereas the last cycle didn't have the money printing, but the cycle before had money printing. So again, this is why I'm bullish. This is why I'm staying around, keeping myself in the game, learning about the market, and yeah, this is why I'm excited for the next cycle. Because whilst Bitcoin, I believe, is going to go lower in the shorter term, 4, 6, 8 months, and potentially get down to 40k if we repeat the last 3 cycles around October time of this year. It's going to give like massive opportunities, especially with QE this time round, whereas we had QT last time round, as we can see on the screen. Since making this video, the weekly time frame is just closed, so the 1 week 50 EMA. If we look at the close, if we take away this fractal, you can see that we have closed the body below the 1 week 50, the 200 week 50 EMA, which when we've seen it previously has then put us below the 200 week EMA for at least 140 days. From the 3 previous times, once has been 140, one's been 287 days, and one's been 280 days. So from here, that would take us to either July to November time, as I measured up earlier in the video from here. That was the 280 days. And additionally, if we would make it 140, that would take us to July. The 280 days would take us to November. So if this next week coming up, which closes in 7 days now, we get a confirmation of a close below the 200 week 50 EMA, it looks like there's going to be a lot of confirmation that will take us even lower now. And as I've been saying on this channel, the bulls are in denial. I had it written, I don't know where it's gone now, but denial before capitulation is where I think we are right now. Everyone's saying, nah, this is gonna, the RSIs are oversold, the sentiment's so low, and we're gonna start breaking up. But I think that's just denial before capitulation, and that is why I've got out of a lot of altcoins. And that is why when I'm saying I think Bitcoin can go another 50% lower from here, imagine what that does to altcoins. So that is why I'd be looking to rebuy a lot lower. And yeah, that is where I am at the minute. So we have a weekly close below the 1 week, the 200 week 50 EMA. And obviously the Bitcoin bulls are going to try and defend and reclaim this 200 week EMA. And again, if they were, we could maybe see a rally up to 80k, close the CME gap before going lower. And yeah, that would make sense. We could, if we do this from where we are, we could defend there. We could get up to 80k, close that CME gap before again heading lower into the October 4-year cycle lows, something like that. Filling that CME gap first, like we always see CME gaps get filled fairly soon, as they are magnets of liquidity. So again, let's just write that on here, we'll keep monitoring it. Magnet of liquidity at 80k. Potentially fill 80k CME gap before heading to 4-year cycle lows later this year. So again, theory on this channel, I could be completely wrong, but I'm just sharing my opinion on what I see in the market. If you agree or disagree, whatever, let me know in the comments. Subscribe if you're new, like the video if you find it useful. And yeah, I'm just sharing my thoughts, could be completely wrong, but again, just looking at previous cycles, obviously because crypto's so new. And yeah, we're just trying to reflect on what information we have available to us. But something like this is what I could see playing out into the 4-year cycle lows, with a potential fill of the CME gap before going lower. A little bit of a relief rally, where everyone's going to again say, oh, bull runs back on and more people get wrecked. So that's where I am at the minute in the market. And yeah, let's just see how we get on. That's going to be all for this video. Again, if you have enjoyed it, please smash that like button. hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.